So in Twitter, as you're posting, if you put a hashtag, a little pound, and then you can follow conversations, so you can see what's going on, so you can sort of, out of all the stuff tweeting, follow a particular conversation. That's what a hashtag actually is. It allows you to follow that conversation. The last member on our panel today, in my opinion, is one of the true leaders in social media marketing. She has done an incredible job, and I have the good fortune to be her friend on Facebook and watch what she's done over the last few years in building relationships, in taking social media and actually turning it into value for her clients and building a significant business with that. And that's Robin Nowinakis. So Robin, why don't you tell us a little about what you've done in social media and your approach to social media marketing?
Well, just to be fair, my whole Facebook thing was a total accident. I thought it was something that kids did, and I had an assistant that was like 22 years old at the time, and she said, I think this was back in 2008, you have to be on Facebook, and I'm like, isn't that something like a MySpace or something? And so she actually did my page for me, because I didn't even know how to get on there. And then I went to a seminar, and I listened to Jim Marks talk, and he explained to me how online was my cocktail party, and my website was my office. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. And I went on to Facebook and it said, what's on your mind? So I took it literally and I really just started writing what was on my mind. Not really what I was saying out loud, but what's on my mind. And that really got a lot of attention because if we really think what's on our mind every day, I mean, think about all the thoughts you really have. So I let it loose. And I just let it out there, no matter what it is that's on my mind. And it could be really good and really bad, but when you get attention and you're trying to grasp attention, that's kind of what you do. It's going to either be really good or it's going to be really bad. And then I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a strategy. This is going to be another tool, just another tool. And that's a very important thing to know. Just like farming, this was another way of farming for me. So I'm like, I need a strategy. I didn't want my clients on my Facebook. So any client that is on my Facebook, they're my client by default. I could sell insurance and they would be my client because they're my friend in real life. And if they weren't my client, I'd be really mad. And this is my reason why. My clients can be on my fan pages or business pages or whatever. And everyone has their own strategy. Because I say what's on my mind and because of perception, you have to be really careful because if they don't know anything about social media, if they don't really know you personally, they're going to take it the wrong way no matter what. And when you say something, no matter what it is, and I tested it this week for today, I just recently did a post and it was, the post was living on a prayer. Well, people that know me in real life totally got it. They're like, Bon Jovi, right? That was what was on my mind, living on a prayer. And some people sent me messages, thought that I was depressed, and and I got some people were like, yeah, me too, and other comments were like, I hear you, and really all it was a Bon Jovi song, and that's really all it was, because most of my posts actually don't mean anything, and if they do, you'll know, and so my point is with perception, someone's going to take that and they're going to perceive it with whatever channel they subscribe to in their head. So if they subscribe to the comedy channel, they're going to find it funny. If they subscribe to the drama channel, the soap opera channel, the positive channel, the negative channel, whatever that is, that's how they're going to perceive it. And so we have to realize that. And us as realtors, we're not allowed to have lives when we're working with our clients. I think that's fair, okay? I think everyone knows that. We are not allowed to have a social life, we're not allowed to eat, we're not allowed to go to the bathroom. Our sole purpose in life is to sell their house or help them buy a house. So if you're tagged in a photo, so you need to be aware of your privacy settings. If you're tagged in a photo on the 4th of July on a boat, yes, on the 4th of July, I'm totally serious, and you are not out selling their house or helping them buy, and they want to see a house on the 4th of July, they're going to call somebody else because you are out having a good time. How dare you? And that is what it's like being a buyer and seller. And it's not that they're trying to intentionally be mean or fire you. It's a very emotional thing, buying and selling a house. And they want you to only be interested in real estate. They just want you to be their realtor. And that is the reality. I've talked to my clients about it too, and they said, yes, I don't want you to have a life. I just want you to work on my transaction, only my transaction. I don't want you to have other clients either. And I just started laughing. I was like, you are so my subject. And so that's my thing on it. So it's a tool, you need a strategy. I have a strategy. Mine's about referrals across the country in Canada with other agents and with people that I have like, kind, passion. So people in the sport industry. So that's my thing.
So give us an example of how you've actually gotten a referral or made money with Facebook.
Okay, I would say about 30% of my business actually comes from Facebook alone. I get a lot of buyers from referral agents from Canada. People in Canada, I don't know where they get their cash, but they have some. And I wish I knew how to speak Chinese. That's all I have to say, because I would hit that one up too, you know? So there's got to be a way to have like a Chinese Facebook page. So I mean that in a positive way. We do get a lot of referrals from other agents. People that think what I'm saying is funny, or a lot of people just can't figure me out is the big thing. Like when they meet me in person, it's like I think they think I'm gonna do a trick or something or tell a joke, and it's just it's because none of it really means anything. They can't figure it out because none of it's consistent. But it makes them curious, so they just want to talk to you, which makes them refer you people, because then it's an excuse to talk to you. So I get a lot of referrals around the country, and I actually sign up with people to do relocation for athletes, because I have a lot of athletes on my page and a lot of sportcasters on my page, and that's something I really enjoy because I'm a huge football fan.
So how did you get those athletes and sportscasters, sports figures onto your page?
Okay, good question. Okay, this is the best thing. Okay, when you do say something exciting or what's really on your mind, you are going to draw huge attention. And it all started in 2009, and it was an Ohio State USC game, and I was in Ohio for it, and I'm a Buckeye, and I couldn't go to the game because my dad was in the hospital, so we watched it from my dad's hospital room at Ohio State University, and we were looking over the stadium. I'm like, I'm going to bring the game to you. We lost that game by 3 points because my coach made a really horrible play. And so I really just let him have it on my Facebook. I said okay, it is what it is. And just cover your ears if you can't handle it. I told him to get his punk ass off my field. And then I told him he had no heart and that he wasn't a Buckeye, and I just went off the whole thing, and it drew people. I think I lost 5 friends because I offended somebody, and then I gained 30. So people started talking about it. This girl's she's seriously talking about this football, because it was different, they weren't used to girls really just ripping football coaches. And I would have said it to his face. It was horrifically serious. And so that drew attention. And when people want to know about you or find you interesting, they will seek you out, and they will go to your info page, and they'll find out who you are, what do you do. The whole thing is to get them to your website, or to get them to your email, to get them to your phone number. So it's very important to have that info page filled out of what do you do now, where did you go to school. So I have a lot of Buckeyes on there now. And, how to get in contact with you.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is open it up to questions from you about specific things you would like to know about social media, and we'll just see how it goes. Yes?
Where's that coach now?
Totally right. Oh, that was a really great day. I want that vest like Dorothy wanted that broom. I just want to burn that vest. Yeah, he's no longer there.
So other questions about social media? Yes.
Robin, how often do you post on your Facebook?
I do most everything from my phone. Otherwise, I do it really early in the morning or at night if I'm, just watching TV or something. I'm trouble just doing one thing. So if I'm really, really busy, maybe a couple times a day. Sometimes if I'm traveling and I just see funny things, because when we travel, the general public, this is hilarious, right? So I'll post it could be every 20 minutes or every hour or whatever.
One of the things that I do want you to think about in social media too is that there are a variety of different social media. And I think it's interesting to look at the difference between Twitter, Facebook, and all the different social media out there. And part of what is important today is to realize that as realtors, we need to figure out who our marketplace is, who our clients are, and be able to communicate with them in the way that they prefer. And it's sort of interesting, Josh, you had an interesting insight into learning to communicate in a way that's appropriate for people, and why don't you share your story?
That'd be great.
Grab a microphone.
Does this work? Or how about that? As you know, I'm not a practitioner, but I do communicate. And I have, I'm very fortunate to have 4 children, ranging from ages 24 to 16. If I want to talk to my eldest, never, ever, ever pick up the cell phone and call him unannounced and uninvited. BlackBerry Messenger. He's fine with that. If he wants to talk to me, he'll reach out back. But for me to call in an unplanned manner, even though spontaneity sounds so wonderful, it's an imposition. Okay? I want to be engaged with him, so the rules of engagement are, I will BlackBerry Messenger before I pick up the phone and call. Number 2, say senior at UC San Diego, rose on the crew team. He detests BlackBerry Messenger. Why? He never wants me to know whether he's read the message or not, because he doesn't want me to have the feedback. If he were using iMessage, he would turn off the receipts. Doesn't want me to know, but still expects the text message before the phone call. That's fine, can respect that. If I want to be engaged with him, BlackBerry Messenger doesn't work, text messaging does. Number 3, young man who has some fine motor skill coordination challenges. Texting doesn't work, whether it's text messages or BlackBerry Messenger. What works is a phone call, a voicemail message, because typing is more difficult for him. And if I want to be engaged there, that's the protocol. Now, after boy, we come to Princess, who's 16 years old, and I ask her, how would you like me to communicate with you? And bless her heart, she says, Daddy, any way you want. Okay, thank you. That really did deserve an awe. But the moral of the story is, I want to be engaged with all 4 of them. And if I really want to be engaged, I'm going to modify my preferred communication to meet them exactly where they want to be. By analogy, think in terms of the clientele that you serve. There might be an octogenarian who you are working with who doesn't want to hear from Facebook, email, whatever. They grew up in an era where face-to-face communication was important, or is important. They grew up in an era where delivering a document to them so that they could be engaged with you and look in your eyes when they sign is really important, and electronic signatures would be an anathema to them and an insult, and probably not very successful. Whereas at the other end of the spectrum, you might have an individual or a family that you're serving where one of the significant protagonists in the transaction is local to you, another is constantly traveling, where a different form of communication is not only appreciated, but is necessary in order to meet the expectations for response time, to meet the expectations for service. How successful would you be if you folded your arms and say, if you want to work with me, this is how I work, this is how I communicate, and these are the tools that I use, period. End of discussion. On the other hand, if you're able to have a bandolier loaded with different ammunition, and you're able to choose the ordnance that is appropriate for the particular engagement at that moment in time,